Hello YouTube. I just got back from celebrating my 28th birthday and I am here making this video to explain my Greyhound experience. In most cases, when I go up to Carrollton, Texas from here in Houston, it's really not that bad. It's actually quite pleasant, but this particular experience was not all that good. When I was going to Carrollton, everything was just fine. There was no problem. But I'm going to tell you the situation on my way back. Okay, here's what happened. I was in Carrollton, Texas, and I got to the bus station at 9:30 a.m. on January 5th, 2012, which was yesterday. The bus was due coming from Oklahoma City to Carrollton at 10:55. Lo and behold, the bus did not show up until 3:35 p.m. Yeah, I know that's a long wait. And so I'm thinking, okay, maybe the bus broke down. Maybe something happened. Maybe the bus got into an accident. I don't know. So when I got to up to Dallas, Texas, I found out that the reason why the bus was late, coming from Oklahoma City, is because of the fact that the driver that originally was supposed to drive from Oklahoma City down to Dallas called in 20 minutes before his or her shift, saying that they were not feeling well. Now, I can understand people getting sick. I mean, that happens. We're human. But when you wait just 20 minutes before your shift to call in sick instead of at least an hour or so to allow them enough time to find a substitute driver, that's just not acceptable. So, in the meantime, I'm sitting there at the bus station, at the terminal, waiting and waiting and waiting with my boyfriend. And so, we actually even had time to go eat lunch because of the simple fact that this bus took so long. And like I said, I've never had anything like this technically happen. Except for one other time, but I'll tell you about that in a moment. Anyways, so the bus got in at about 4:10, 4:15 p.m. Well, it made me miss my connection in Dallas for the 2:45 bus that was due in Houston at 7:45 p.m. last night. I unfortunately did not depart Dallas until 7 p.m. Got to Houston at about 11:56 p.m. last night. And then I ran into another problem because the buses here in Houston do not run all that late. So I, of course, ended up stranded and had to stay at the bus station from about 12 midnight. And since I wanted to go ahead and talk to the terminal manager, since I already filed a complaint up in the Dallas area, I technically did not leave that station until about, I'd say, about 8:30, 8:45 this morning, today, January 6, 2012. I filed a second complaint when I got here to Houston, and the terminal manager, I guess, tried to brush it off. I mean, she explained to me, would I be returning to Carrollton? And I said yes in June, but of course she, said, we'll give you a round trip ticket, but it's like she was basically brushing it off. Like, okay, yeah, we'll give you a round trip ticket and I'll be on your way. That's how I felt. Like, it was like a big brush off, saying, you're getting your ticket, now go. I mean, not even realizing the fact that I got stranded because of this driver who decided to wait for 20 minutes before their shift to call in instead of following proper protocol to be able to allow them, again, enough time to find a substitute driver for this route. So the bus was down by 4 hours coming from Oklahoma City. And on top of that, it had to wait for the bus from Kansas City, Missouri before it could depart so it could have a, what is that, a connection. So my bus was delayed for practically, I'd say 6 hours at least. Practically 6 hours. And like I said, when I got down here to Houston, it was about almost 12 o'clock at night. I sat at the station. I just barely left. I just barely got home at about, it's 11:41. I got home in the door at about 10:30, 10:35 this morning. I mean, I barely even slept, really. I mean, because how can you sleep on a bus station? I mean, I don't know about anybody else's other experience. I haven't technically seen the other videos on here, but this is mine. I mean, I guess a few tips I would probably give someone is that, for one, if it's cheaper to go by plane rather than buying a round-trip bus ticket, that might be your best bet. I'd say do that. Another thing, if you are going to take the bus and you're going to go to a city, and they have, I guess, like a light rail or something, or a train, your best bet might be to catch the train from not your destination city, but from the city that's before it. If you can, get a ticket to that city, and then maybe take a train from that city that you're in, and take it to the next city, if they're within the same vicinity, within, I guess, 30 minutes of each other, or something like that. Excuse me. I guess I don't really have a lot of tips. I mean, but of course I've been riding Greyhound for over 10 years, so. Anyways, this experience has probably been one of the worst for me. The last experience that I had that was probably almost just as bad as this was, I was on my way over to, Massachusetts, and we had a layover in Atlanta, and the driver told all the passengers that the bus would be there for 30 minutes to service it, put gas in it, and all that stuff. So the thing with that was that I found out that after about 15 minutes they recalled all the boarding passes except for about maybe half of the bus. So while half the people were back on the bus, the other half got left in Atlanta. And that next bus going up to New York City was not for another 3.5 hours. And that was not fun. Because my stuff was on that bus that had taken off to New York City. And every single thing that I had on the bus, not underneath, but just on the bus, was stolen. Contacted Greyhound, and I kept trying to keep in contact with them so that they can see what's going on with my stuff. Never, ever, ever, ever heard back from them. I mean, I'm not going to diss Greyhound and say, oh yeah, we're the worst transportation you can take. I'm sure there's much worse. But, I mean, the only reason why I take Greyhounds is because I'm not going to fly. That's just me, though. Anyways, like I said, you know what I'm saying, if you can take a light rail or some kind of a train from one city to the next, and they're within the same vicinity, within maybe, I guess, 20 to 30 minutes, 40 minutes from each other, that might be your best bet. Because if you're in an area where the Greyhound is always running late, chances are you can miss your connection to your next bus, and that can just throw your whole schedule off. I'll probably end up posting a few more videos just like this in the next year or so. but hopefully the experiences will be a lot better than this one. And I guess another thing to point out, you know, is that, um, I mean, even though I know we're all human, we all make mistakes and all this, but um, like I was explaining, how the manager over at the Houston terminal, she basically just brushed it off, did not offer me a meal ticket or anything. At least the, I guess the acting manager in the Dallas area station at least offered me and everybody, that was on the bus I was on, a meal voucher. But of course, the one in Houston did not. So, I mean, I honestly, I'm pretty disheartened by that, disappointed, because even though I explained the story, like I said, I filed 2 complaints, one in Dallas, Texas, and one in Houston, Texas, when I got back home, and I filed a verbal complaint. So I have 2 written complaints and 1 verbal complaint, and hopefully somebody will see that. Um, I know that Greyhound said they're going to compensate me for like half the ticket that I bought, and because of my experience and all that and everything that has happened. But I mean, they don't even. I don't even know if they even can fathom what they have put me through. But I just hope and pray that when I go back up there, Lord willing, this summer, that will not happen again. Because if it happens again, I'll just be having to file another complaint. But hopefully that will just not happen. Hopefully when you see another review from me about Greyhound, it will be actually a really good one. Again, I thank all my subscribers, everyone who has watched this video, who will be watching this video, and who is watching the video, who has watched and who will watch. Excuse me. I thank everyone, and I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas, had a Happy New Year, and hope you get everything you wish for. Alright? I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.